Several weeks ago, I told you guys about how Bernie Sanders' successor organization to his political campaign, Our Revolution, was off to a really shaky start because many of these staffers didn't have any trust in Jeff Weaver, and they were worried that the organization's designation as a 501c4 organization would allow them to take unlimited sums of money from billionaires, which is something that Bernie Sanders railed against during his campaign. And so we didn't have much information at that time because some of these staffers were contending that Jeff Weaver was heading off to different states like California to solicit donations from billionaires like Tom Steyer. But on Twitter, Jane Sanders apparently clarified and said that they're only going to be raising money through small grassroots donations. So there was a big question mark as to how this organization was going to be funded and just what the hell was going on, because from the outside looking in, we can't really tell how competent Jeff Weaver is. And I think that after hearing some more news about it, I am starting to see that Jeff Weaver probably isn't the right person to run this organization, but there are some silver linings, and I'll talk about that. So, according to USA Today, Senator Bernie Sanders' new activist spin-off organization, Our Revolution, will disclose any high-dollar donations it receives, two of the group's board members said Wednesday. As a social welfare organization or a 501c4 group for tax purposes, Our Revolution doesn't have to disclose its donors. Its commitment to transparency was among several concerns raised by at least 8 staffers who resigned as part of a staff revolt before the group launched last month. Former Ohio State Senator Nina Turner, one of the group's board members, said the board was unanimous in its decision to release high-dollar contributions. The precise definition of high dollar has yet to be determined. We know that people really care about transparency and accountability, and we're not going to let people down, Turner said. We do take seriously the faith that people have in us as a movement, and this organization as a symbol of that movement. Board member Catalina Velasquez, an immigration and LGBTQ activist, said Our Revolution has more than 4 million supporters and thousands of volunteers who will continue to hold us accountable to make sure that the movement is continuing. The fact that you're going to be more transparent, that's great. I'm always going to be in favor of more transparency, but you're kind of missing the point here. I mean, it's not that we're concerned specifically about the lack of transparency that these types of 501c4 organizations have or don't have, but I think that people are really apprehensive because you're going to be taking money from billionaire donors potentially in the first place. That's really the problem that we have. And that was inadvertently admitted here, which is problematic to me. And part of Bernie's campaign slogan was that it was funded by Bernie, not by the billionaires. And that really meant something to us, because if you take billionaire money and just pledge to be transparent while doing so, how does that make you any different than people like Hillary Clinton, who don't want to actually get money out of politics and just say, I want to get dark money out of politics? It doesn't. So, I mean, you're basically saying, we're going to be transparent. We're going to get dark money out of Our Revolution, but we're still going to take billionaire money who are able to buy us. So, just because we know who's able to buy you doesn't give us any more faith. So, it does seem like the problems many of the staffers who revolted had with Jeff Weaver were legitimate. Now, the silver lining is that I have the utmost faith, confidence, and trust in Nina Turner. So if someone like her wasn't on the board, I don't know that I would even have an ounce of hope or optimism for this organization. I think it would be doomed from the start. But Nina Turner is someone who is not a sellout. She didn't endorse Hillary Clinton. She is working for an organization with the hopes of actually fighting for progressive policies. I mean, even if they do take billionaire money, the issues that they're championing on their website, I care about those issues, and I love those issues. So, I mean, I would think that that would prevent billionaires from even wanting to support this organization in the first place. But I mean, at the same time, all you need is a few billionaires or millionaires to donate to the organization, and I immediately will feel disinclined to donate myself because my response is, oh, you want my money? No, I'm not going to give you anything. Go get it from your millionaire or billionaire donors. So, because why would I donate to an organization if I say policy X is more important, but if a billionaire donates $1 million to the organization, well, they're going to say, no, policy Y is more important. Who do you think they're going to listen more to, me or the millionaire? So it's a matter of representation, and how millionaires, billionaires, and just rich people, generally speaking, are able to drown out the voices of the little guy. But I mean, again, there is a silver lining, because it's not like they're running away from any progressive policy positions. All the policies that Bernie Sanders fought for, they're still present here. They're still claiming that they're going to fight for it. They're speaking out in favor of the Standing Rock protesters. They're still against the TPP. So I would think that with these policy positions, that's going to be something that would dissuade billionaires and millionaires from wanting to jump on board this organization. But at the same time, I feel like they're kind of missing the point by talking about a lack of transparency. And now it's pretty clear that they might be taking billionaire money. So Jane Sanders was wrong. And I think that all stems from Jeff Weaver. It seems like he really is the problem. So am I less inclined to get on board now after hearing this? I am, but at the same time, the fact that Nina Turner is on the board, I feel a little bit better knowing that she's there, because if Nina Turner steps down, that's when you know this organization is going to be a complete and utter failure. But the fact that she's still there and thinks it has potential, I trust her judgment. I don't think she's ever going to sell us out. I really believe in Nina Turner. And look, she's someone who is potentially going to run for governor in 2018 in the state of Ohio. Guess what happens after that? If she's a governor, she can then run for president. A Nina Turner president is honestly unfathomable to me. It would be so amazing. I wouldn't even know how to deal with that much awesomeness. So I believe in Nina Turner. I trust her. I know that she's not going to let us down. So the fact that she's here gives me some hope that this organization can actually be good and do good. Now, I'm not willing to donate just yet, because I want to see how they advocate for these policy positions. I actually do like what I see so far, honestly. I mean, I get the emails from them because I was on Bernie's email list about how, help to stop the TPP. So that's a good sign. Jeff Weaver is a bad sign, because I didn't know what to think about him, because I didn't know enough about him in terms of how he ran Bernie Sanders' campaign internally. As an outsider, I thought he did a good job at running Bernie's campaign, because Bernie had no name recognition, and he made up a 60-point deficit. So, I mean, you have to credit Jeff Weaver for that. But at the same time, the fact that Jeff Weaver even wants this organization to be able to take billionaire money, apparently, it is troubling to me. So I think that people like Nina Turner being on the board is going to keep them in check. And the fact that Nina Turner gave us this reassurance, I do feel a little bit better about it. But I'm still, I'm still on the fence. I'm still apprehensive, and understandably so, I think. Now, with that being said, I do have to address a criticism of myself and other progressives. Many people are worried that, progressives are getting a little bit too unreasonable. I had someone on Twitter tweet at me and say, "Look, Mike, I'm so sick of you subjecting every single person to a quote, progressive purity test." And look, to be fair, I think that is a perfectly legitimate criticism that people can and should probably use against people like myself, because even though I want to be critical and hold candidates' feet to the fire, we don't want to be too unreasonable. We don't want to burn every single bridge. Look, I'm fully cognizant of that, and I'm thankful when people do point out the fact that maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh. Maybe I shouldn't be criticizing this person. Give them a break. You're not going to agree with them on everything. But I mean, at the same time, I don't necessarily think that this is an unreasonable criticism to say that I don't want a progressive organization taking billionaire money, because Bernie Sanders ran a very anti-billionaire campaign. So I don't think that this is unreasonable. But at the same time, I know that this organization isn't going to be perfect. I know I'm not going to agree with 100% of the things that they do. I know I'm probably going to grow pretty disillusioned with Jeff Weaver quick if I see any changes. But at the same time, I think that we can put away our tinfoil hats and trust Nina Turner. If she's on the board, I'm okay with it. But if she steps down and has a problem with it, that's when you know that this organization is not going to do very much for progressive issues. So look, we have to be critical, but at the same time, I do understand the criticism that people use against me and say I'm too harsh. Perfectly legitimate criticism, I get that. So I am going to remain on the fence about our revolution, but I do feel better knowing that Nina Turner is on the board, as I've stated. So be skeptical, but don't just hope that this organization fails. I'm not. I'm hoping it succeeds. But we're going to have to wait and see how it all plays out.